Hello, Leo. It's Kat's Real Life Mystic Tarot. Thanks for joining me. And almost Happy New Year. And this is Christmas Eve. Yeah, I wanted to get these out for you. I'm going to give you a little bit of a 2020 first quarter kind of overview. And then we're going to do our January 2020 horoscope spread, the usual that I do. Um, And I was meditating, and a lot of my meditations for most of the signs so far have been very uplifting, not really as informative as much as inspirational for some reason. That's what I'm getting. That's what's coming to me. And for yours, what I got was I saw you among other people sitting at a campfire. And it's kind of cold. You're bundled. It might just be a chilly night. It might be winter. I'm not sure. I don't see snow. But you guys are telling stories and laughing. I see you as kind of like rosy cheeked from the flames of the fire and from, I don't know, some adult beverages that you guys are all having. And I feel like it's a real, you know, feeling of enjoyment of life. And I feel a fulfillment from you, Leo, in being part of, I guess, just sharing, this thing that is life. These stories. These stories are, some are humorous, some are spiritual, some are adventure, some are. So there's something about stories that inspires you, or that that enlivens your life. And as you guys are all there, and I feel this real energy coming up, and out of the fire in the center, kind of a whirlwind of, I don't even know what to call it. It's not really smoke. It's sort of an ether or something is swirling up into the sky. And I feel like that's the energy that the group creates, that positive, connected, um, kind of joyful for life sort of energy. And I feel like there's something in that for you, whether it be like something that you want to do that could help people, inspire people to feel this way, or to inspire communication or togetherness. Um, Anything in those areas. It's something creative, because the stories are creative. And it's something, I mean, some of the stories are tall tales, some of the stories are jokes, some of the stories are true. It's just a very enriching, soulful time for the group. So that was my meditation. For your 2020 first quarter, what I'm going to do, and what I've been kind of told to do by Spirit, was to look at the bottom of each deck. And that's going to give you your story for the first quarter. So the first card, I have Nine of Fire, Nine of Wands. Beautiful card. But it does kind of give the feeling that it's a final push to an end or an achievement. So I always liken it to the last leg. You're in the death zone climbing Mount Everest, and this is it. What you've been striving for months and months and months. It's just the final push to the top, and it's tougher than anything, but you're almost done. So you have to know you're almost done. So that's the first one. Second, we have the Empress. The Empress. So this is shown in reverse. She, I feel that the Empress energy has already happened, and it's about continuing the course. Now, the Empress energy does indicate, and it can be literally be fertility and motherhood. It's also health challenges or health goals that you may have, that you have started, and it's continuing the course. It can also be, it has to do with emotional wisdom as well. So also maintaining a mature focus to your emotions, that type of thing. Um, and it does relate to earthly things. So if you've been moderating spending or anything to do with material goods, something like that, this is about continuing the course. Continuing the course. Okay, and this is stuck in the mud. So for the first quarter, you might still be feeling, and I'm getting like with the Nine of Wands and stuck in the mud, I'm getting the feeling of feeling like you're on a treadmill, like things either continue on and it seems a little bit endless. It can be the final push and you're almost done. So this does relate again to the Nine of Wands, where it's really just hard work. This is not exciting work. This is not inspiring work. This is just hard work. It can also be repeating old cycles. So if there's old cycles and you feel like you're on kind of the hamster wheel of kind of finding yourself in the same place again with the same issues again, this is another thing. And again, the Nine of Wands relating to that might be to finally finish it. So if you find yourself cycling through karmic cycles with somebody, with a work relation, with family issues, anything like that, or even your own personal issues, if we want to bring the Empress into here about cycling with health issues or any, let's say dieting can be this. I'm not specifically saying dieting, but dieting can be a cycle like, oh, I tried this diet and it worked, but then I couldn't stay on it, sort of thing. Can be cycling through that. So there's something that you've been cycling through. You're going to have a final ending to it, just finish it out. And you're going to have what looks like kind of an achievement stage where you're just going to stay on this kind of maintenance pattern, which I get from the Empress. So I'm kind of relating this to diet. This in no way is just diet. It can be anything like that makes you feel like you're on a treadmill. Okay, and your goddess energy, which is the chief energy for this, we have Kali, which is fear. So the cycling, I'm going to say, the cycling and repeated patterns that you may have been going through can be because you're afraid of change. You're afraid of what will happen if you break the cycle, which you're going to do in the first quarter of 2020 sometime. You're going to break the cycling. Without that familiar pattern, where does that leave you? What if you do level up? What does that level look like to you? It's a new experience. So I think the breakthrough that wants to come first 3 months of 2020 is going to be arduous. But when you reach it, you're going to be in a new pinnacle. Again, sort of like the Everest climb, where no one can take that away from you. You climbed Mount Everest. So you made it through this thing. You reached another level. Now, what does it look like? Because imagine if you were a climber of Mount Everest and your goal for years and years to make the money, to get sponsorship, to make yourself fit, exercising, prepared for it, has taken up a lot of your time and you've been obsessed with it. Okay, now you've, let's say, reached the pinnacle of Mount Everest. Now, where are you? You're kind of in a space. Okay, so you're this person that climbed Mount Everest. Now what? Now what does that mean for you? And now what are your new goals? And now what does life, like let's say you did, and maybe you're the first woman to climb Mount Everest. This has been done. Okay, now you have sponsorships. They want you to do commercials or something like that. And this is all very fearful to you because it's like, well, I don't know how to do that. So there's something somewhere in that first quarter of 2020 that you're going to come to a new place. I mean, for instance, let's say you're, pretty overweight. Let's say you have 100 pounds on you. That's kept you kind of safe. You've been on a treadmill of dieting. Okay, let's say that you've come to this place where you are capable of losing that weight. And now you're perceived as a very different person to those, who don't know you, don't know your history, and you're treated differently. And it's a new place that you're in. And it can be a little bit fearful, very different. And what happens? You don't go backwards, do you? You go forwards with it, fit right into what you might be fearing. So that's what I'm getting for you. Very interesting energies. I'm going to put this up because this was our main energy right there. Kali, fear. We're going to go with the Good Tarot, and I'm going to use the Vice Versa deck, and I'm going to grab my glasses. Sorry, guys. I forgot my glasses. I'll be right back. Okay, so I am excited to see what's happening for my Leos. This is going to be specifically for January now. Let me get this out of the way. Whoops. So what's up for my Leos in January 2020? Brand new year, brand new you. Let's see what's going on. What major areas of life will there be activity in January? Okay, a lot of major arcana, and as you know, if you've watched any of my readings before, excuse me, I follow the major arcana for the areas where there's activity. And right now, I'm seeing activity, kind of in your, a little bit self-development, in your career. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relationship is a little bit tricky right now. But let me just say, what's crowning you, your 10th house sector, we have the sun. So nothing could be bad here. Basically, the sun is almost, if not the best card to get in the deck. It's basically all is well. It's kind of the feeling you might have had around the campfire, the happiness feeling, of just everything being just right. And when you're around the campfire, I didn't see you with a partner, but you were just exceedingly happy, just joyful to be, to live. That's how I see you, definitely for January. The ninth house is foreign countries. It's higher education. It is also litigation. So, I'm saying if you are thinking about having any litigation or pursuing a lawsuit against someone, I don't think it's the right move. You have the star in reverse. My first feeling for this card for you was about foreign travel. And I do think that there is possibly something you might be wanting to plan for foreign travel, for overseas travel, somewhere new, I would say. You want to go somewhere new and just really explore. And somewhere I think might be really nice for you that is not the most common place, like for tourists. Like I would say avoid a tourist type place, a place that everyone goes, and go somewhere that's a little less commercial. I think it's going to be really good for you to just see just a different culture and to really experience it from within, not as a tourist. That's why I'm saying the star is upside down. Not as a tourist where you're treated, they try to make it like, let's say you're from the United States, they try to Americanize the tourist spots, so you're not really getting a feeling of it. I'm saying exploration for you. In your 8th house, your 8th house is sex, death, deep psychological, can be occult, and very scorpionic energy. And what I'm seeing here is the magician. So there's something that you're able to create, manifest psychically. So be very careful where your thoughts are going. You can manifest it. If you're attempting to manifest some type of event, I think you have the ability to do that. It's kind of uh, very much like to have the magician in an occult area, and this is of the mind or whatever. It means that you have a lot of power, scorpionic type power right now in January. So be careful what you wish for, as they say, but definitely, yeah, keep your eye on the prize. Um, in terms of that, in your mind, you're sensing, okay, in your mind, there's justice and there's injustice. You are having thoughts about possibly not not feeling like karmic justice was done. You're having feelings of imbalance and that you'd like to balance a situation out, whether that be in a good way or a bad way. Um, and at the same time, I'm going to add this in for some reason. In the fourth house, Hierophant in reverse, I feel that there's family tradition. There's something okay, I'm going to say, because this is coming to me, that there might be an idea that your family has of you that is untrue. It's something they chose to think about you, to be your legacy or be your story. That's not your story. That is not who you are. It's not who you are now. This feels unbalanced. And I feel that this may have, over the holidays, you may have wanted to correct that balance. And that was really, really very much in your mind, of things that maybe comments that somebody made or that just didn't resonate with you. Like, why would you even say that to me? That has nothing to do with me. Or, that type of stuff. You are, I think, on a path to re-express yourself in such a way that those around you will understand who you really are at this point. And you had a strong feeling that they did not know who you were, that comments were made that were like, you don't know me at all. I don't know where you came up with that. That's not, Okay, so realize that it's a longer process. That you did make inroads from whatever that you may have said back or whatever reaction you may have had, and it will take time, because people who've known you for a while and want to see you in a certain way, it'll take time for them to understand and fully process who you are. But believe me, incrementally things will change. Okay, so in your relationship houses right now, and I'm going to clarify everything a little bit more. I have heartbreak, of air, which is 3 of swords in reverse. So there was a heartbreak, possibly in a relationship. And in your 7th house of committed relationships, you have 4 of swords. So basically, this is a time where you're really kind of stopping to examine the incidents and the wounds that may have happened during relationships you were in, that things you didn't understand, things that came out of the blue for you that you didn't see within this relationship, and you had kind of an eye-awakening moment with these people. And now you're in a point where you're not very interested in pursuing anything until you process what occurred in the previous. These things may have seemed, like we were talking about, like, cyclical, like it's happening again. Why am I having this energy again? Why am I having this same outcome again? And so you're really taking a look at maybe your choices, maybe, reactions, maybe things that you've done, and maybe those that you're choosing. So there's things that you're going over right now. And this is for, single Leo. mainly. Let's clarify a little bit more about this. So what things are, what's Leo really looking at in this committed relationship? What is Leo looking at? What are they examining? What is it that they're feeling? Okay, I'm taking 3 cards. Okay, so I have Knight of Pentacles. I have the Six of Pentacles and Magician in reverse. Okay, so what I'm saying here is reciprocity is definitely this card. So there was no reciprocity, right, in the relationship. There just wasn't the equal give and take, and you may have allowed that for a while. Not working, that didn't work for the relationship. You need to set your boundaries and state your needs clearly, and your wants clearly. Knight of Pentacles here is work, doing the work. I'm getting that, and it can be like a knight of, a male or a male energy or a partnership with someone that is of an earth suit, that you may have been involved with. They may have been, if that's the case, it may have been someone very slow and steady. And maybe as a Leo, you needed a little bit more forthcoming energy, a little bit more initiative. You may have been a little bit bored. Okay, that can be. It also can be that you're approaching it in a very slow and steady way, and you feel like that's that approach. Or it can be cautioning you to approach it in this way. That's what I'm thinking, is that it might be best to, instead of jumping into passionate relationship, to really take your time and take a look at who you're getting involved with. So, and that can be the cause of a lot of heartache, because, when you get in too quickly, you really don't know who you're getting in with. Of course, I mean, this is obvious stuff, but this is what you're getting for this. Magician in reverse has to do with how you are manifesting in the relationship. So you may be having a fear of loss, and you are unconsciously projecting it onto the relationship that you care to be in. You may be fearful of loss, so it may be making you behave in certain ways. And so this is about possibly, and here, the Magician, again, in your 8th house, you're doing deep work with the Magician of what you're manifesting. So really kind of getting into this deep area in your heart and in your psyche to heal some of the fears that you might have that create this cycle of loss or heartbreak that may have happened. This is, of course, not for everybody. If you're in a good relationship, this probably isn't your reading. This is for those who have had this experience recently of loss. So it's really, and since you have the Magician here in reverse, and you have it in the 8th house in the upright, I feel like you have done the work, and it's, you're going to manifest. And so this may be good news for possibly after January, maybe February, maybe end of January, where you might start to experience better luck. Because like I said, you're coming to this hard work and coming to a pinnacle where you're going to be somebody else in a way, like you've had this accomplishment. And this can be partially just really digging deep and finding what's causing your issue in terms of fear within a relationship. And most likely it's fear, but it could be something, well, probably everything boils down to a fear in this case. Even if you probably grow tired or bored with someone, might be a fear of, being trapped, commitment, that you can't keep it going, or it can be a different sort of fear than just fear of being left or lost. There can be, different manifestations of that. So I think that's interesting. So now let's just ask, is there someone coming in for Leo, let's say end of January? Because I'm getting like the beginning of January might not be the time. You're still working on a few things. But now what about end of January towards February? What's happening? Is there anyone coming in? Can you describe someone if someone's coming in? Who's coming in for Leo? Oh, okay. So you're going to experience victory, Seven of Wands. It may be someone that's a very accomplished, competitive, someone who can really beat out the rest. I mean, just someone above and beyond who you've ever experienced before. That's the first thing came to mind, because I did see that there was a person here, and this is someone really, really very different than who you've had in the past, and I think that's who you're going to be looking for. And this can also be yourself, where you can see that he's vanquished all the others with their wands down there. He's won. So this can be yourself, where you've really done battle with any of those demons that you may have had, and you can have basically anybody you want. And being the fact that you've vanquished your demons, you're going to attract someone that has also vanquished theirs. And now we're talking about having kind of getting off the hamster wheel, the cycle. This is going to be somebody really pretty amazing. So we're looking at end of January, February. You're going to be ready probably to meet someone. And if you're already with someone, if Leo is already with someone, what's going on there? How is your relationship? If you're with someone and you have any questions, what is the guidance? If you're already with someone, you think they're special enough to ask the question, what is the guidance? Okay, so Nine of Swords in reverse. So again, negative thinking, fears and negative thinking. So continue to vanquish the negative thoughts. If you are with someone, you're having thoughts that this is really someone you'd like to continue on with, continue to battle any negative thoughts that you might be having or that crop up, or any fears. Just really keep an eye on that. So in the career house for Leo, I see the sun. Tell me about the career situation for Leo. What can you tell me about the career situation for Leo? Okay. So it's almost time. This is Death in reverse. Death in reverse. And actually in these card decks, I could kind of put it in the upright because it is a vice versa. This is the vice versa deck. Okay, big change. You've been working 2 different jobs. There's going to be... Okay, so here's the thing. 2 different things. You'd like to select the job of your choice. You've been juggling 2 different things, and you're just waiting on the money. The money. Because we have the sun here, and in your 6th house of work you do every day, we have the foundation, 3 of Wands. So there's a good foundation. You're in a really good place. It's just going to be a matter of funding for this this thing that you might be doing on the side, Leo. So my guess is this is not the job that you're doing on a daily basis. This is something that you might be doing like a side gig. And it looks like, and this definitely gives the potential of money coming.